Che bella cosa una giornata e sole. Oh no, tu sei più bella in me. Oh sole mio, stai a fronte a te. Oh sole mio, stai a fronte a te.
Bentornati tifosi napolitani to another edition of Noi Tifiamo Napoli. I'm your host, Raffaele Rispo, along with Daniel Russo. Daniel, before we get on with this mess, right? You have a birthday coming up, don't you?
I do have a birthday coming up, March 11th.
March 11th. We talked about your March birthday. March 11th. Mine is March 17th. So it's just 6 days before mine. I think I found a new name for the duo here, right? I think we're gonna call each other the Pisces Paesani.
Pisces Paesani. I like that, actually.
What do you think of that?
I do. You know what I thought you were going to say? I thought you were going to say Marze Paz or something like that.
That's a good one, too. I like that. All right, we'll leave it up to the listeners. Maybe we can use both of them, but it's the Pisces Paesani here. Pazza Marza is coming up, and, we're going to celebrate birthdays, and that's probably the only joy that we have right now as of now, celebrating, our days coming up, because yesterday, by the way, Monday, February 26th, we're here talking about Cagliari Napoli 1-1. It was not great, and we were looking like we were heading towards a win when we got scored on with no time left, and what would have been a really nice result on the road for a change, even though we didn't play too well, was taken from us right from underneath us, Dan. And what's going on, man? Like for real, because we talk about how ADL affected the team in the beginning of the season, and all of that's true. And I'm gonna get into a rant about that later. But at this point, 25 games in, something is broken in this team, and we can't figure it out, no matter what we try to do. So, what's your take on all this, man?
Dude, honestly, I think even if we had won the game yesterday, I would have been obviously not as pissed as I am right now, because it would have been a great win. But there's just no hope. I don't see any hope when I watch this team. They don't inspire me. I think that's what we love as Napoli fans, is that we're not in it for the wins, obviously, because they don't come as much as, a fan of a Juve or even an Inter, We do it because it's a passion, and there's a product on the field that's usually always there. No matter how poor the results are, the product is still there, right? Like, they play a specific brand of football that we like. And there's just, it's not even that. Like, we don't even get that this year. It's just it's such a mess. These guys, apart from the fact that the product on the field sucks, which goes without saying, they just look mentally gone. Like, they look, it looks like they don't even really care as much anymore, to be honest. Like, you got Simeone through on goal that doesn't pass the ball across the face of goal to an open Lindstrom, and after it, he's smiling. Like, it's just weird, man. It's really weird. Then you got Politano through on goal. All he needs to do is just slot it in, side foot it, slotted in with the inside of his foot, and he's toe poking it away. It's almost like that. It's almost like he wanted to miss. It's just so bizarre, really bizarre this season. And yesterday was the first time in my whole life, Raffa, I swear, I've never done this before. I always thought it was funny that people do this, but I would never have done it myself. Yesterday was the first time I actually sent hate mail to a player. Like, I sent hate mail to him. No, it was Politano.
Oh, okay.
It was Politano.
Because genuinely was catching it, too, on Instagram.
No. I mean, obviously, I didn't say anything, like, nuts. But, like, I literally sent this guy a DM. Like, I've never done that. But I'm 20. I'm about to be 26, and I'm sending a guy a DM. But I know we'll never open it. Like, you know what's funny? It's embarrassing.
You know what's funny, man? Is that once so 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, we open the shop at 10, so I'm working, and I barely watched the second half, and I did, I obviously saw the goal, I obviously saw the big plays, the misses, and stuff like that, right? But I'm working, so, the game is right in front of me, and I can hear it, and I can get a sense of what's going on. But and luckily, my clients were football fans. Like, he's a Bayern Munich fan, who's also like a New York Red Bulls fan. So we talk a lot about everything, really, everything. And just we're talking about what's the problem with our teams and this and that. And like as we're talking about it, like it's unfolding in front of me. It's crazy. Like I was able to pinpoint things like, okay, that miss is going to cost us. Watch, we'll get scored on, eventually, blah, blah, blah. And then, the game was coming to an end, and he goes, oh, looks like you guys are going to get away with it. And then, at this point, I was doing his kid's hair, so the kid's mom usually stands, next to him so that I can do it, because he's got a little bit of, he's a younger kid, so, mom needs to stand next to him, whatever. But, my dude is, my buddy Steve is over on the other end with his other kid, and he's, looking through the mirror, and as we got scored on, I looked up at the TV, I looked up at him through the mirror, and I could see his face, and, mouth wide open, you guys can't see me because we're on an audio, but, I just showed Dan, because Dan could see me, just eyes bulging out of his head, mouth wide open. He's like, no. And I looked at him. I said, I told you, man. This team is completely it's one thing if players on the pitch can start predicting, the play of the players, right? We can start predicting these games as fans watching, and it's unbelievable. And okay, I'm looking at our starting lineup, and we talked about it the last time we played, right? He's probably going to play Mazzocchi on the right because, Di Lorenzo's serving a suspension. Who's going to play at the center back position? It's probably going to be Juan Jesus. I never would have thought Raspadori would start on the right. I thought it would be Politano. And now I'm looking at these, and Zielinski gets a start, because Calzona all of a sudden says, you know what, we still have Zielinski for this time, let's use him, this and that, which I could agree with, but, even him, I'm looking at these foot mob ratings, Dan, right? I'm going to read them off to you, okay? Oliveira got a 7.2. Rachmani got a 7.
Justified.
Rachmani got a 7.2. Mazzocchi got a 7.1. Anguissa 7.1. Zielinski 7.0. Even Raspadori 7.6. He got the assist. Osimhen 7.5. Kvara not that good, 6.6. Lobotka not that good, 6.8. Juan Jesus not that good, 6.6. Meret 6. I don't know what. I didn't think Meret was terrible either, but the team didn't play awful, but you could tell there was no real rhythm, especially in the first half. I don't know. Am I wrong in saying that? Because I watched the first half and it was more we had the ball a lot, but it was a lot of nothing, right? I mean, I don't know, man. What are you thinking?
I would agree with you. I know I started off saying there's nothing, they're giving nothing, but that doesn't mean that they're. That doesn't mean it's awful. It's just
the
there's
is not there. Means right. Last season was just amazing, and this season compared to it, the product is different.
It's
right?
just
It doesn't
so
mean they're not gonna
mediocre.
put
Yeah.
together a good plays and good a good match. It's just
Right.
this ball's not going in. They're not creating chances. They're not taking the chances they do create.
I mean,
And
other
that's
than
a
the
tremendous
Osimhen
product.
chance,
Yeah.
Other than the Osimhen chance and obviously Politano and Simeone, like I cited before, like what else was there? Really, there's just nothing. There's no creativity. There's not Zielinski. I'm sorry, but this guy cannot play another minute in this shirt. I don't know where they got that rating from, but I don't know what he did to warrant even past the 6. Because this guy's just he walks on the field. He walks and he's trying to do flicks. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
It's embarrassing. It really feels like it's just like a slap in the face when that guy plays. I'm sorry. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. I don't know. I don't know how to comment on yesterday's game other than just being completely pissed off. I'm really trying to be level-headed, but it's impossible for me.
I mean, who would you say showed some promise, like showed some deserve, like deserved to have some praise yesterday? Like right away, I'm thinking Anguissa. I think Raspadori
I was just about to say
played well.
I think Raspadori played well for playing out of position because I just don't see why there's now 3 coaches that are putting him at right wing. I don't get it. He's just not a winger at all. I don't see him as a winger at least.
He got to start as a winger too. It's like it's not even like because sometimes he'll get subbed in as a winger and then move over, right? He got to start as the winger, and again, I don't think he did that bad at that position. But at the same time, like you said, right? Like, where would he be better off? I mean, is he better off more central? Is he, what is he better behind the striker? What's?
I think it's exactly that.
Yeah,
I think it's exactly that. I think I wouldn't call him a trequartista because that position doesn't really exist anymore.
Right.
But I would call him like a seconda punta. That's what I'd call him.
We don't really play with one, do we?
Well, we don't play with that. Like he would be perfect in like a 3-5-2. Like the way that Lautaro was for Lukaku.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's his. He's like a Lautaro, but like we don't do that.
Or the way that Thuram is now for Lautaro, or
no, even like Lautaro is for Thuram. I would think.
Oh yeah,
I would think. Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, I think the player that best. You could best equate him to would be a Lautaro, just a very much lesser version, obviously, because Lautaro's incredible. But not to say Raspadori can't get to that level at some point. Just right now, he's not there. Yeah, and just going off of that, I think Oliveira probably was our brightest spot yesterday in my eyes. I don't know. I thought him and Anguissa were the only guys that really stood out to me. Mm-hmm. I thought Oliveira. I think ever since Oliveira came back from injury, he's been really, really good.
Okay. Yep.
He's been pretty solid. So that's good. At least I guess I could say that. At the very least, there's that. Other than that, yesterday I don't really see anybody that stood out.
Mm-hmm. What if Mazzarri stayed on? And do you think we would have had more of a chance to try Raspadori as a secondo punta with Mazzarri staying on? I mean, you could have done a 3-5-2 with Raspadori right behind Osimhen. No, like.
I mean, yeah, but like Raffa, how long did he have? Yeah. How long was he there? Mazzarri, what? Since like November?
Right, but he didn't.
Did he ever try it?
He didn't have Osimhen. He could have tried it now. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying. Listen, at this point, it is what it is. I'm not gonna stretch this whole Mazzarri Calzona switch thing anymore. But it's just 2 games now, and I haven't seen it. We're at 3 straight 1-1s in all competitions. All 3 times were scored on first. No, I'm sorry. We didn't. We scored first yesterday, but still, 3 straight 1-1s. Osimhen gets his goal, which is great. I mean, nice assist by Raspadori, 60th minute. or 66th minute anyway. And then just, again, capitulation, right? Luvumbo gets a really good ball from Dosena. He puts it in. Juan Jesus' marking was just terrible. He got a lot of really bad hate on Instagram, which I don't condone at all. Like, I'm not a fan of, threatening and, name calling on these social media sites and the kids and all that stuff. This guy really does love Napoli. He's not the best center back. He's not a starting center back like you said. By the way, really cool appearance on the Calcio Guys for Dan Russo, by the way. You guys missed it. If you missed it, check it out. The Calcio Guys last week, Dan Russo was on it. Awesome show, Dan. Good job.
Awesome guys, by the way.
Oh, they're great guys.
They're incredible. I've been on. I think that was my second time being on, and I wish Johnny would have been there because I would have had another Napoli fan with me. But it's okay. I mean, he's another character. He's awesome. So if you guys want, take a look and look at their stuff also. Not apart from mine episode because they got a really good show going on.
They do. They had me on the day Maradona passed away, and it was that was an emotional one. If you guys can check their archives back, it was a really really good one. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Luvumbo puts the ball in. Bad by Jesus. But once again, like, I don't even know if I'm going to lay the blame totally on Juan Jesus. I think the decision-making of Simeone and Politano were just god-awful. And in my opinion, that's what lost us we didn't lose, but that's what lost us the 3 points.
Raffa, it's the everybody wants to be a hero thing. That's really pissing me off, man. Like, you got Simeone threw on goal. Like, last year, I'm 99.9% sure Simeone slots that to Lindstrom, and he scores. Or if Crada's there, whoever would be there, obviously, because we're taking last year. Because last year, there was a togetherness. There was a unified, like, there was a unification in this team. This year, there's just 11 individuals. I really, very rarely do we see a team on the field instead of just 11 individuals this year. And yesterday just was that again. And then the ego of Politano to just toe poke that. Like, instead of just slot it normally, like a normal player, like he would. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. To make me go that crazy and send you a message on Instagram, you gotta have done something so stupid. I regret sending what I did, and it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. It was calling him out on before he. It was just calling him out that before the renewal he was one player, and now all of a sudden he renews his contract and he hasn't done shit since.
I've obviously Twitter blew up yesterday. I tweeted out that this was unacceptable, and of course here come the ADL tweets. Like, everything is on ADL, man. Everything. It's just like I'm starting to get really sick and tired of it because 25 games into the season. How is this ADL? So, like, someone really had the actual nerve, the balls, right? And if you go on my Twitter, you'll know who it is, right? To tell me that ADL, it's all down to him. It's all ADL's fault, right? Like, who's responsible for signing the players? Who's responsible for the goal against? And I'm like, if you're thinking that ADL is responsible for all this, like, you're out of your mind. Like, I've already conceded, I don't even know how many times, that ADL is responsible for what's going on at the club, but you can't hold him responsible for decisions the players make on the pitch. Like, that's insane.
No.
If you're going to sit there and be like, after every drop point, after every loss, be like, oh, you could thank ADL for all this. Like, what do you mean? I don't understand. Okay, so the exact quote was, who is responsible for signing the players? What are you talking? Like, the three mistakes that were made yesterday, the three huge mistakes that were made yesterday were from players that won the Scudetto last season. How is that ADL's fault that these players, that Politano missed a sitter, that Simeone took a shot instead of pass to an open player who was a new signing, by the way, wide open, and then that Juan Jesus cost us the 3 points with his defending? How is that his fault? Okay, maybe we didn't get a good enough center back to replace Kim Min-jae. Guys, we had to replace Koulibaly with a player, and if anybody is sitting there telling me that they knew Kim Min-jae was going to be as good or if not better than Koulibaly at the beginning of last season, then you're on some sort of drugs, and I don't understand. We got Kim Min-jae and Kvaratskhelia. We were supposed to finish outside of the Champions League. Instead, we won the Scudetto. So don't sit there and tell me that you knew Kim Min-jae was going to be better than freaking Koulibaly. Okay. Then the whole thing about him, who decided to sell? Here's the quote, Dan. Who decided to sell the best center back in Serie A last season to replace him with a 22-year-old from Brazil at a fifth of the cost? Who decided? There was a friggin' release clause attached to his contract. I'll tell you who decided. Kim and ADL made the decision together when Kim signed the contract. This guy was always leaving. Once you know better than anybody, Dan, once a player attaches a release clause to his contract, 1, maybe 2 years, he's gone.
Yeah.
Come on. Give me a break.
Look.
How? And then do you think this team, as currently constructed, is Scudetto worthy? Yes, I do. We replaced Lozano with Lindstrom. We didn't get the center back, no, but we should still be good minus one center back. Okay, we didn't get the manager we wanted. Okay, we didn't get the DS we wanted. But the players are almost the same team, dude. Like, any manager should have come in and been able to take care of these guys. Just give them what they need. The same thing that Spalletti did last season. That's the problem. Rudy Garcia was out for himself. That was the worst. To me, Rudy Garcia was the worst move ADL made, and that's where I lay blame for the team at its current state right now. Okay, the team is the same team, but he later in another tweet goes on and says something about the players the players' quality. How can you tell me the players don't have quality? That's the same players that won the Scudetto last season. So where is the blame, Dan? Where is the blame? What's happening is all in these players' heads. It's in their heads, dude. It's nothing else, but they lost this game. They lost this team mentality with Rudy Garcia, and it's been a struggle to get it back ever since. And that's why I always maintain, yes, it's Rudy Garcia. Yes. Not even Walter Mazzarri could come in and fix it. And this guy, Calzona, so far, he says himself, there's a lot to fix, and there's a little time to do it. And he doesn't know if it's going to be able to. And for the first time, Dan, I'm telling you, for the first time, and this is something I didn't engage with him yesterday, this guy. Or earlier today. I didn't engage in this with him. But I said to myself yesterday that soon as this game ended was the first time I really thought in my mind and in my heart this season that Champions League might not come next year. I said Europe. I said Champions League, right? Europe, still possible. Champions League, I don't think so. But then I woke up this morning and thought to myself, you know what? It's still not over. It's not unattainable. We have a game to play. We have to win that game. Results didn't really favor us today. We had Lazio. We had Fiorentina beat Lazio. We had Roma beat Torino. Not very favorable in our side. but we still have to play Sassuolo. We still have a chance to win that game and get back in. Atalanta plays against Inter, so we can make up points on them there. But then we get Juve, and that's going to be tough. It's home, it's the Maradona, who knows, but that's going to be tough. But I'll go and say that I don't feel like Champions League is... I'm leaning more towards we're going to miss the Champions League, we'll hit the Europa League.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I personally, after the Roma game, I know it's still early, but after the Roma game, I was seeing signs of, it's not, non è cosa che stanno. That's what I said to myself. Like, it's not happening, you know? That there's just, there, like I said before, there's not a product there to tell me, hey, you know, this team is there. You know what I mean? Like, this team could do it. The results just aren't coming right now, but they'll come, you know? Usually when there's a specific strategy in place on the field, you could tell, you know, the players are together. There's no togetherness in the team. There's nothing there right now, and there's not enough time to get that right now. And I don't think, even if we do get it, I don't even think that'll be enough, because we gotta probably win like 10 out of the last 13 games. It's like, and I don't think that's happening. I really don't see it. But to get to your point or to your question before, who I lay blame on for this happening, yesterday was 100% on the players, like I said, and there's obviously 3 players that I principally blame. You know,
right?
Juan Jesus makes a mistake that not even players in Serie D make, and I say that from experience, because I literally played it. I'm not even trying to say I played at a low level Serie D team, and I swear if one of those center backs makes that mistake, they do not play for the whole Girone d'Andata. They do not play again. Like it's a mistake that it looked like he had zero clue what was going on. How can you have zero clue what's going on at the 96th minute?
And you know what's crazy is that he's been, I mean, can we say the best center back we've had this season?
Right.
Maybe the most consistent center back we've had this season. And the mistake that he makes just cost us 2 points, man. Like that's crazy.
And you know, and where I was going with this is like, I lay blame on De Laurentiis this season, and I know that you try to refrain from laying all the blame on him, but you knew that Kim was leaving, right? Like, just from July 2022, you knew that he was going to leave. Maybe not after 1 year, but you knew he would leave. He only signed a 3-year contract, and there was a fairly low release clause, you know? So you knew that this guy was going to leave. There has to be a list somewhere where you made of players that could possibly be, you know, the heir to Kim.
Yeah, but
right?
Didn't we try to address that list? Wasn't there like Danso or who else, man? Help me out. There were a bunch of players.
I know that there was Danso. I know they wanted to get Danso, but realistically, Raffa, like, if we got Danso, do you really think that he would have been that great?
No, I listen, and here's the thing, Dan.
I mean, I've watched the guy. I don't really. Yeah. I'm not impressed.
Here's the thing, right? Okay, so listen, like, we had to replace a world top center back.
Of course, yes, we did.
We somehow, some way, we did. Now, Kim Min-jae had been on our radar for a little bit, right? Kim Min-jae was on our radar. He was also on, I believe, Tottenham's radar.
Yes, and if I recall, I think it was even the Mercato d'Inverno, the one before the summer that he actually came. His name started coming up. Yeah.
Okay, so, but the thing is that, okay, he's a top defender in the Turkish league. from Korea. Did we really think that? I mean, even though we had been looking at him, did you? I'm asking you, Dan. This question: when Koulibaly left, did you think we were effed?
Absolutely. I had never seen Kim play 1 minute.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things where, okay, Mertens is leaving. He's getting older. He's injured. He's more a locker room guy. We want to keep him because he's a son of Naples. Insigne left, and it's okay. Insigne had his prime season 2 years before. He won the Euro. He slowed down a little bit. He signed that contract. Okay, he's gone, right? But what hurt me the most, the one that made me cry in my kitchen with my kids, reading off the frickin', translating the goodbye from Koulibaly. That's the one that made me cry, because not only did we love the guy, but we were losing the best player in his position, right? That we've had since Diego Maradona. And when I say that, Dan, I mean highly regarded worldwide. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm not saying Koulibaly's the best player we had since Maradona, but what I'm saying is, at his position, there were 3 names maybe: Sergio Ramos,
Van Dijk,
Koulibaly.
I don't even. Yeah.
In my opinion. Right? In a lot of people's opinion, 3 center backs that were tops in the world, and he was one of them, right? Just like at the time we had Maradona, who was the best player of all time, right? We haven't had that type of a player since. And instead of him leaving, he should have been given the captaincy. But he left. And you can blame whoever you want to blame for that, but we replaced him with Kim Min-jae, who managed to do even better than he did. How is that even a thing? You want to try to do that twice in a row? Maybe ADL should not have. Maybe ADL should not have attached that release clause to his name. But at the same time, you have to make a replacement, right?
Of course.
So you have to get a player in the same caliber.
No, and I'm not blaming him for not foreseeing how good Kim would have been. You know what I mean? And maybe not having done enough to try to keep him more or longer or replace him. I'm not even asking him to have replaced Kim with someone of equal caliber, because that doesn't exist. If you want somebody of equal caliber,
you have to.
I think maybe there's 2 or 3 guys in the world right now, and they're unattainable. So it's not possible. That's not what that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is somebody that actually is, in Italian they say un degno erede, someone that actually, could come in and just beat of a normal ability. You know what I mean?
I think
Nathan is good.
Nathan
is good.
I like Nathan.
But my point is that then you have to, if you want to get a guy like Nathan, you have to couple that with another guy a little bit more.
I was just going to say
right?
that.
And you can't. As the Campione d'Italia, you cannot. For as much as I respect Juan Jesus and the performances he's been giving, you cannot sit there and build a team as the Campione d'Italia with Juan Jesus as your starting center back. It's inconceivable. It's inconceivable.
What about Ostigard?
No matter which way you look at it. You mean Ostigard should... Yeah, I mean, he's a good backup. I think that's what he was always brought in for, though. Brought in for, to be a decent backup. I don't think he was ever brought in with the vision that he would be the starter one day. I really don't think.
Yeah. So what we should have done was bring Nathan in, and then, like you said, somebody serviceable, like a
right.
Like a Alberto Docena, or like a what's his name from Fiorentina, Milenkovic.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. But
Or
I don't know
yeah.
about Milenkovic, but somebody
someone that knows the
that
league,
could
someone that
right.
someone that could serve the team. You know what I mean? Like someone that could pair well with Rachmani. I mean, listen, I agree. Listen to me. I agree. I think Natan with some fine tuning will be one of the best center backs. I think he's got it. You could see it.
He has the fundamentals. He does.
You could see it. He's young. He still needs to develop a little more. You could see it. It wasn't the right time to bring in only Natan. And that's the mistake we made. Okay, fine. But at the same time, like, that's the only really, like, and Lozano maybe, right? But we brought in Lindstrom, but, this guy didn't play him. What's his name? Garcia didn't play him. Garcia didn't play Lindstrom and Natan from the beginning. Maybe if he did, we might have been, like, rolling.
Yeah, but Raffa, do you remember when we brought them in?
Yeah.
We brought them in, like, maybe we brought Natan a week before the season started. We brought Lindstrom in 2 weeks into the season. You know what I mean? Like, it was so obvious that we had no real vision for that transfer market in the summer. There was really no programming done.
And that falls on ADL. But, okay, that falls on ADL. And I'm conceding that. And I have. So did he. He took accountability of it. He took responsibility of it. He said he effed up. So we're going to have to just deal with it right now. But then another dude on Twitter is telling me that ADL set us back 5 to 10 years. I mean, listen to me. 5 to 10... Okay. We're having the worst season under ADL in a very, very, very long time. We're having one of the worst title defenses we've seen in 25 years. Okay, I still think that we can be better than the 96-97 Milan, who won the Scudetto 1 year, and then went through the same thing we did, changed coaches in the middle of the year, went back to Sacchi, and Sacchi saved them from relegation. That Milan team finished 6 points off of relegation.
That's nuts. I've heard that. Yeah, that's nuts.
That's nuts. I mean, the point swing was less than ours, but at the same time, they had 18 teams in the league, so it was four less games to play as well. But they finished 30 points off of the. I think it was 30 or was 20. It might have been 20 points off of the Scudetto. Okay, so as far as that goes, we probably have it wrapped up as the worst. But we're not going to finish in 16th. We're not going to finish 6 points out of the relegation zone. So in that regard, we're still fighting for European places. That Milan was treacherous, okay? But this guy is another guy. It's another guy, and I don't know. I don't care to find who it was or whatever, but I remember seeing the tweet. I'm bad with Twitter and names and shit, so like I don't remember, especially except for this one that just like keeps hounding me with this ADL crap. But this other guy goes.
I think I have an idea. I think I have an idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's one of those guys who can't. He has no name and no face. I actually invited him on. Right.
Maybe it's not.
No, it's a different. No, I invited him on here. I said, "Listen, because he said something to me about my work is not credible anymore because of my fandom and no one could take you seriously anymore. You should be educating the masses instead of spewing your fandom." And it's like, dude, if you don't like it, don't listen, don't follow me. You follow me. I don't follow you. You follow me. I don't need I don't need you. You don't have to follow me, dude.
Right.
That's to you out there, and if you're listening to me, then obviously you're going against what you say, and you're still listening to me. So thank you for that, but you don't have to. No one's pointing a gun to your head saying, "Yo, listen to Raffaele Rispo." We're the only ones out here doing Napoli content in English, except for in North America, except for frickin' Dom from Napoli Talk, who does a fantastic job with his stuff. He besides him out there, we're the only ones doing it. Oh, and of course Henry and Michele. But
no?
Joe is done. Joe
doesn't do anymore.
Joe hung up his
microphone. Hung up the mic.
No, that's why I say it. But I'm saying I'm inviting him to come in, man. Come in. I said, send me a DM. Come on the show. I said he can come on tonight. We can argue all day about it. It's fun. It's fun to me. I like doing that stuff. Nothing personal. I have nothing personal against this person. But now he's telling me things like, I'm doing a disservice to Napoli. Okay. Well, then come in and do it yourself. Seriously.
I would love to have another guy
I have no problem. You can have your own show on the network. I told him you could have your own show on the network. You can come in and spew your ADL hate all you want. And then he did say too. He said, when am I ever gonna what did he say? He said, God forbid you ever lay blame when and where it's due. I have been.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think
ADL
you've been pretty good with blaming.
Exactly.
I think definitely in the past. Look, Raffa, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I think definitely in the past you have really been hesitant to lay blame on De Laurentiis when he has had blame. Yes, but this year I think you've been more than fair. More than fair with
because
where you set aside the blame.
In seasons past, though, Dan, us not winning the Scudetto, the only time really I was super upset that we didn't win the Scudetto was in 2018.
Yeah, I knew
2018,
100%,
and I blame Sarri for that because, to be honest with you, everybody said that we didn't have much of a bench, but we didn't use the bench we had. At least if he could have used the bench we had, it doesn't go down to Sarri didn't like the bench players. I don't want to hear that shit. We were so tired by the end of that season that we capitulated, and to me, I'll blame Sarri for that. And yeah, maybe we could have done a little bit better in the winter mercato that season, but we were on a freaking tear.
Honestly, I've made peace with that season, but I at first I was on board with you, what you're saying, how that was definitely Sarri's fault. But then again, I'm looking back at the numbers and everything. I'm like, bro, we got 91 points.
91 points.
You know what I mean? To even lay blame on anybody, I think it would be a little bit it would be very unjustified. I think just Juve. Were Juve. That was the real
Juve. Were Juve, and the
I mean?
Referees were the referees.
And yes, absolutely.
Listen,
absolutely.
I hate like my dad all the time. Dan, you've seen it. My dad will curse referees out. And everybody's paid off and all this stuff. And I really try not to subscribe to it. Although the referees still wear net insurance on their sleeves, which is owned by the Allegri family. Okay,
look,
that to me is a little shady, but
definitely you're absolutely right. But even the most Juventini that I know, if you understand what I'm trying to say, the most diehard Juventini that I know, even they were like, yeah, that year was weird.
I'm just saying if you're gonna
there was a lot of shady stuff going on.
There was the VAR tapes missing, and
right.
Anybody could see that was a second yellow to Pjanic, and he should have been sent off and whatever, and that might have changed the outcome of the game. It might not have, who knows? But still, what I'm trying to say is, they botched the whole thing, and they had VAR, and it might have been the first season of VAR. I don't remember. It might have been first or second, but it was just inexcusable. So I'll blame Sarri and the refs for that season, but I just don't see I see differently when everybody else sees with ADL. We have to remember. Raffa and I used to say this all the time on the rant, man. You have to remember that we are Napoli. We're not Milan, Inter, and Juve. We're not even Roma. We're not.
This is exactly what I say to my friends as well.
Yeah,
that want to always get on De Laurentiis.
We're not this conglomerate. We don't get bailed out. We don't get all these special treatments. We're Napoli. We're this little team that is making noise. Bro, if we miss Europe this season, it's the first season we miss Europe since 2009, 2010. Do you believe, no, I'm sorry, not even. The 08, 09 season
earlier,
was the season we finished outside of Europe. right? We've made European football. I don't care if it's Champions League, it's Europa League. I don't care what place we end up. I don't care if it's because we won Coppa Italia. We have made Europe every season since 2010, 2011, okay? And it's, I think, 14 or 15 seasons consecutively. Even if we hit the Conference League this season, we still have that streak going, okay?
Right.
So in my opinion, I think ADL has done a fantastic job. And then when people think that we've hit the ceiling and, ADL, it's time to sell, he busts through that ceiling and wins the Scudetto the very next season. Everybody's saying that.
Right.
I mean, when you're gonna fault him for the season, fine. I fault him too. But when these same people will say it's ADL's fault, right? That we're in the position that we're in right now.
They won't give him his flowers.
They don't give him his flowers when we won the Scudetto.
Right.
It's Spalletti that did it. And I'm not saying Spalletti didn't do it. Spalletti 100% did it. But who put Spalletti there? And who put these players there? Okay?
Absolutely.
It's invalid. Everything. Like, yes, okay. We're not set back 5 to 10 years, Dan. If we don't make Europe this season, we're going to sell Osimhen. We're going to make double the amount of money.
We've done it before. We've missed out on Champions League where it's looked like we were in the lowest of lows and we would have to rebuild for another 5 years, and then the next season we come back and make second place. You know what I mean? It's happened before. Like,
what happened when we sold
Cavani? Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that year we came second, so we already had Champions. But do you remember we played it was the 38th game of the Serie A that season. We played, and Higuain missed the penalty. To make the Champions League, right? Felt to me, I actually felt like, we're gonna be set back like 4 or 5 years just because we missed out Champions League. Next season, what did we end up doing? We fought Juve for the Scudetto.
Next season was 16-17. Milik went down with the injury, and Mertens scored 20 goals in Serie A.
It was the year before that. So there was Higuain. This was 14-15 where we missed out on Champions League. We ended up making 5th place. Higuain misses the penalty. We lose to Lazio. They get the 3rd place, right?
Right.
And back then, 3rd place was the playoff. Yeah, we slipped down to 5th. 3rd place was the playoff. The next season was Higuain's 36-goal season.
Higuain's 36 goals. That's right. That's right.
And that's what I'm saying. But, the talent was there. All we needed was just a coach to put it together, right? Benitez, as much as we love him for bringing in all those players, wasn't that guy. Sarri came in, the heavens opened up, right? But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say too. Like, the season might even end up where we miss out on Europe altogether. But I do have the faith in De Laurentiis to get a guy in that knows what he's doing. Obviously, he fucked up this year, but next year, get a guy in that knows what he's doing and really fix this team up, because the team is there. I don't think even the biggest haters of Napoli, I think even they can say, like, the team is great. The players are great. It's just a matter of putting them together in the right spot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a matter of getting a coach that can actually, get into them and make them start playing again. And if we can do that, I think we'd be totally fine.
But we can do that. We've proven that we can do that. So this season is such an anomaly that, like, again, we have never had to come off of a Scudetto winning season, right? So every year of De Laurentiis' tenure, right? We're this close, but we're not there. Okay, so this player's leaving, so okay, we gotta keep trying to get to the top. We gotta keep trying to get to the Champions League. We gotta keep trying to win the Scudetto. It happens to where we're close. Doesn't happen. Every season we've had to do that. So he's become a master of chasing that top rung, right? By hitting that top rung, by grabbing that Scudetto from the top, right? We have now entered uncharted territories. And like I've said 100 times on this network, on these platforms, on different podcasts, we've never had to deal with that scenario where, okay, now we're defending a Scudetto. and we've got to try to make this work. ADL is not prolific in that. Now we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and come back to chasing that Scudetto again. And then now, hopefully, once we win another, because I'm confident, Dan, I can confidently say, by selling Osimhen for the most money we've ever sold a player for, we are going to reinvest this team.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't want
100%.
to. Then people say things about De Laurentiis and not reinvesting the money that was earned from last season's Scudetto into this team. We sold Kim for whatever it was, 60. I think somewhere around 60.
I think he confirmed it was like 48 million.
Okay,
He
48.
confirmed it, yeah.
Okay, then 28.5 for Scudetto is nothing. I'm sorry.
That's all you get?
20? No, not even, dude. It's 20. It's 23. I remember I tweeted it out. It's 23 something, bro. We made more money on Elmas than winning the Scudetto.
That's
okay?
Oh my god.
But we make that money back by Champions League money as well. So, obviously finishing in fourth is a lot less. But winning a Scudetto and making the Champions League, you get a nice pretty penny. Okay, fine. But is the move to completely redo the team, the beautiful team that won the Scudetto handily, are you supposed to spend all that money that you've made we still had to renegotiate Osimhen. We still have to renegotiate Kvaratskhelia. We had to renegotiate Politano. Why? Don't ask, but we did. We had some salary things we had to do, right? Does it make sense to splurge all of the profits from last season now? Because we're entering the season in which we won the Scudetto as beautifully as we did, and added a couple of players to fill some voids. We should still have been in contention for a Scudetto this season. So think about that, right? You're going into the next season where with this team we've made it as far as we ever did in the Champions League, and we won the Scudetto, something that we've never done before, and how as beautifully as we did it, right? Do you think it's necessary for ADL to go like, okay, let's see, we made this much on this guy, this much on the Scudetto, this much for the Champions League, this much for... I'm going to spend all of this now
But
totally change the team that we have.
It's not even... It's not like... I hate when I go on Twitter and I see these people do a whole rundown of what we won that season and what we've spent, and then like what the net spend is, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Say like, oh, there's this much money that's just unaccounted for, not even unaccounted for, but like not being used towards the team, right? But you don't know where this money is going. Like, not every penny that you win from the making
this
the Champions
isn't FIFA,
League,
guys. This isn't
exactly.
EA
It's not
TV. It's
exactly.
EA
That's what I'm
24.
trying to say. So I'm trying to say, I think people think that this is like EAFC 24, where you're in career mode and like whatever season's earnings you make go straight into buying new players for the next season, right? We have to pay rent for the season, for the Stadio the Maradona.
Dude,
we
there's
have to,
so much that goes into the team.
And I guarantee you, a lot of the reason why he has kind of refrained from using all that money is because, and he's even saying it himself, he's trying to make a centro sportivo in Afragola, in Naples. He's trying to make a new centro sportivo. That's what's happening. So, honestly,
possibly
you can't have it all. You can't have it all. There's people that say, we need a new centro sportivo, we need a better primavera team, we need this, we need that. Okay, so let him do it. He's got to do it. At the same time, though, you can't complain when he's not buying all the players you want him to buy, because that money's got to go from. He can't just. The money doesn't just come from the sky. You know what I mean?
But exactly. But another thing, though, Dan, is he's got the ability to see ahead a couple seasons as well.
Right.
In my opinion, because the money that was won from the Scudetto and the money that we're winning with Champions League play this season and all that stuff, right? Let's not forget, we're still in the round of 16 of the Champions League. And if we beat Barcelona by hook or by crook, if we beat Barcelona on the road, we go to the quarterfinal again. To never have been past the round of 16, from that to going to the quarterfinal 2 years in a row, and the money that comes with that, it will save us if we don't make the Champions League this season. So will the Osimhen money. And then guess what? Next season or the season after is going to be the Kvara money. We are in freaking excellent shape right now. We are in a position to where we can sell Osimhen, revamp the team, then sell Kvaratskhelia, maybe even put a few more pieces in on the team, but then pay for that Centro Sportivo. And then, possibly grow elsewhere. Like, there's a lot of faults to the guy. Don't get me wrong. Again, he is to blame for this season. I'm not going to blame him every single week. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to blame him for Politano missing and for Simeone being selfish. He's not to blame there, okay? Because these are guys that were on the team last season that know what team is. I can understand if it was Lindstrom that missed. I can understand if it was Natan that screwed up. I can understand all this stuff. These are players that won the Scudetto for Napoli, that had a hand in winning this thing. And you can't just go day by day, week by week. Oh, if ADL only... Well, what do you mean? He's not controlling these guys with a PlayStation 5 controller, guys. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. These players something's wrong with these players' heads, man. And
everybody wants to be the hero. Everybody wants to be the one that, I saved Napoli. I saved this season. I turned it around. That's the problem. I mean, I just saw today on TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok. I get a lot of Napoli stuff, obviously. And there was this, it was a post-match interview of Spalletti after the Rangers-Napoli game, the first one where we won both of them 3-0, but the first one where it was it was in Scotland. And there was that, he was talking about Anguissa making it into the box. He could have shot, but he squared it to Ndombele, and Ndombele scored that goal. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, Anguissa doing that. You know what I mean? Anguissa, a guy that never scores. I don't think he's even scored a goal before that play, right? For Napoli. I can't remember whether he scored or not. He might have 2 goals for Napoli.
I think it was career, that Ndombele goal. Was that in the Champions League?
It was in the Champions League, right?
He had already scored. Remember, he scored. I think he scored. Was it 2 goals against Liverpool, or was it just 1? But he scored a goal against Liverpool.
He did. You're right. He did. That was his first goal for Napoli. I think that goal against Liverpool.
It might have been. It might have been. Yeah.
But the point kind of remains where that's Anguissa. That's a guy that never gets that position. That's a guy that if he took the shot, I probably wouldn't have even been pissed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if he had missed. And no, he passed Ndombele to score. You know what I mean?
That was when Ndombele came in. That
was the difference.
He came. It was. I think that was against Rangers.
Yeah, it was against Rangers.
He came in. They said 7 minutes left in the game. Scored an assist.
Right, and that's that's where we're lacking that this season. We don't have a team. Last year we had guys that Di Lorenzo was breaking his back for Rachmani. You know what I mean? We had Rachmani that there was no ego to him. He just did his job because he knew that he was not the guy in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Kim is the guy. You know what I mean? All you need to do is just...
I'm getting sick and tired of Rachmani, by the way. Just so you
know.
Oh,
my God. Forget it. He has no place in this team. He has no place being a leader.
Did you see he posted
after? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I knew he would.
He deserves that captaincy. He posted some shit on Instagram.
Listen, for me, the biggest fallimento of this season is seeing that guy with a freaking armband on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah, no good. No, I don't know.
No good.
there's a lot that's wrong with the team, but at the same time, once again, I mean, let's really quickly look through the next few games and see what we got here. We have Sassuolo on the road. They're dreadful. They're missing Berardi. I don't know if he's coming back by then. By this game.
I have a question for you, really quick. Question. If we don't win this game against Sassuolo, are you ready to concede that we're definitely not making Champions League?
If we don't beat Berardi will be out until mid-March.
He's not even playing. Yeah.
No.
So,
if we don't beat Sassuolo, it's over, bro.
Yeah. I figured.
If we don't beat Sassuolo, it's over. If we can't win against Sassuolo, it's definitely over because you take a look at the standings, right? Of course, this thing. When are we? Okay, hold on. Let's look at the standings. Okay. Napoli have 37 points on 25 games. They play Sassuolo, right? Atalanta starts to play Inter. If Napoli win and Atalanta lose, we'll go up to 40 points, right?
Yep.
We'll be tied with Lazio. Lazio have the tiebreak since they beat us. So we'll stay in ninth, but we'll be 6 points out of fifth place, which is likely to be a Champions League spot this season. Atalanta have to lose. Atalanta have to lose, right? So, otherwise, if Atalanta win, they'll go up to 49, and then we'll be chasing Bologna with 48. That's an 8-point difference, with 13 games left to play. It's not impossible. It's not, especially since we still have to play against Atalanta at home, Fiorentina on the road, Roma, I believe, at home too.
At home and Bologna at home.
Bologna at home too. Is Bologna on the road?
Bologna at home. Osimhen missed the penalty.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Bologna at home. So at home is where we're better, okay? And we have that fight at the Maradona, right? But let's look at it. Sassuolo on Wednesday. Juve on Sunday. Dan, Sassuolo, do we beat them?
Dude, I want to say yes, but I thought I really went into that Cagliari game thinking that we were going to steamroll them, and you saw what happened. So honestly, I honestly don't.
I mean, but
I want to say yes. I'll say yes. I'll say yes. I'll say yes.
Sassuolo, we beat Sassuolo. Juve.
I feel more confident against Juve than I do for tomorrow. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
I do this.
Yeah.
Torino is home. I know they killed us. 3-0 on the road, but Torino's home.
Look, if we get a positive result tomorrow, I think we could go on a little streak. But honestly, I don't feel confident enough to be able to look that far ahead and give a judgment. You know what I mean? I really think it's time to just lock in on the one game ahead and move and stick with that. You know what I mean?
You're no fun today, man.
I can't. I can't.
I know. It's not your fault. But when you think about it, right? Okay, so I'm gonna do this, right? I can see us losing to Juve, to Inter. I mean, I'm confident against Juve, but if we're gonna lose, Juve, Inter. And somehow, some way, I could see us. Maybe we drop to Fiorentina. I could probably see us beat Bologna. I'm thinking about our away record is disastrous right now. So but which is crazy, right? Because in the beginning of the season, Dan,
it was the other way around.
We were unstoppable away. We were like tops away. So really, I don't know, man. Bizarre. This is just so unpredictable.
Bizarre.
But again, Sassuolo, Juve, Torino, Inter, Atalanta, Monza, Frosinone, Empoli, Roma, Udinese, Bologna, Fiorentina, Lecce. Those are our games left.
You know what I'll give you, Rafa? You know what I'll give you today? The next 5 games, we win 3 of them. That's what I'll do. I don't know where the hell those wins are going to come from, who we're going to lose to, or who we're going to tie to, but I think that the next 5 games, we win 3 of the games.
Okay, Sassuolo will beat.
Yes.
Torino we could beat at home anyway. And then maybe Atalanta or Monza.
Dude, I feel it. I really think we're going to beat Juve.
Okay.
At least Juve, I think we'll beat. We could go back to this, and you could clown me all you want. Even viewers or listeners can clown me all they want, but I do feel
it's a different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
At this point, I just want to beat Barcelona and get to the quarterfinal.
Yeah, I think it's just a breath of fresh air in that competition, just because it's like we don't have to think about how we're being in 9th place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And another good thing about this is that we don't have to deal with Barcelona until March 12th, so the day after your birthday. So hopefully they can give you a nice birthday present.
Speriamo che mi fanno un regalo di compleanno.
Un bel regalo, right? Yeah.
Un bel regalo.
I know. All right, man. I think that's gonna do it. We've gone over the hour mark, but we had a lot.
Yeah,
to talk
it was
about.
needed.
This was necessary longer episode. Dan, we just started a bet podcast on our network here. And
I saw.
For those who bet on Serie A, and for those who bet on Napoli, now I know there might be a lot of fans out there that don't really bet on Napoli because of the what's the word? What's the Italian?
How unpredictable?
No, the unlock.
Scaramanzia.
Right? Yeah, Scaramanzia. That's right. You don't want to put the Scaramanzia on Napoli, so you might not bet. But for those who do, and I'm one of them, Marco Cubani Donofrio has he gave me a great idea. He said, let's do a bet podcast. He threw out some names on the first episode, but we decided on FFV bets on Napoli. And he's going to every week come in and give you guys his top bets of the weekend. Actually, the first one he did against Cagliari, it almost came in. He had Osimhen a shot on target, Kvara a shot on target, Napoli winning, obviously. It almost happened, right? But Kvara didn't get his shot on target, so it wouldn't have worked out. But it had me, and I was too late to place that bet. I was going to place that bet, but it had me. I was a little late, so in match I couldn't make a determination on a shot on target. So I put Osimhen goal, Napoli win, and I put 6 corners. And it almost came in because that was one of the recommendations he had too, and it almost came in, man. If Napoli held on and won that game, I would have had it. So, good job by Marco for his first episode. Please, we urge you all to listen and take his bets, and if you use them to bet responsibly and to understand that betting is something that is, it's a by chance thing, Dan, right? I'll tell you what I did last season. I put first game of the season last season when we were together at Daniel Nidz's house, right? I put in a huge bet parlay, and it almost came in. I think there was one thing that I needed that I was missing. But it was really cool, and then I did hit a big bet for like $600 last year, one game, and I think it was Napoli against Sassuolo. I think we won like 4-0 or something. I almost hit this year against Milan at the Maradona. If Kvara, remember the game 2-2? Kvara had 3-2 right on his foot, and it was saved by Magnan. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
If Kvara scores that goal, I win a 7-leg parlay for like $800.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was. You could imagine how gutted I was for that. But anyway, you have to bet responsibly, right? Take his
Absolutely.
bets, and do it. But it's a fun show. It was a fun first episode. Look for that. Of course, Henry and Michele with Shadow of Vesuvio. They're a little busy lately, so I'm sure they'll come around and do another episode soon. But be on the lookout for them. This ever-growing network. We had Ken on CBS Sports Golazo, which was really cool. He's kind of manning the social media aspect of the network. Give him a shout. And you can find Dan on X, myself on X, at Tifiamo, NAP_FFV. Look for us on X, where you can find all of our stuff. We have a LINKTREE now, LINKTREE, FarFromVesuvisNetwork. You'll find all of our links there. And we'll be back. I will be back for a post-Sassuolo. I don't know if Dan could join me, but we'll see you in a few days to talk about the Sassuolo game. And then, of course, Napoli-Juventus on Sunday the 3rd. We're going to come in and talk about that. Now, Dan, let me ask you this. Sunday the 3rd, what are you doing?
Sunday the 3rd.
Which is Napoli-Juve. What are you doing?
I mean, I work in the morning, but other than that, I'm watching the game.
How far, what time do you get out?
Probably like 12.
Okay, how far are you from, oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. Montclair State in New Jersey.
Montclair State. Well, I've never even heard of that place. I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
All right, well, Serie A is throwing a watch party. And they invited the club, the Tri-State Napoli club. They're throwing a watch party at Montclair State University in New Jersey for anybody, really, who can come. They're giving away free food. They're going to do giveaways. Any Napoli fan that's listening around the Tri-State area, you guys are welcome to attend this. Look for the link to RSVP to the event. It's free. Look for it on the Tri-State Napoli Club Instagram account. Well, the link is on the bio. I think in the Twitter as well, the X. Or visit Serie A_North America on Instagram, and you can find the link in their bio as well. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. There's going to be a bunch of Napoli fans. I'm sure the Juventini are going to be out too. But I'm going with my kids and my dad. Dan, you should try to make it too if you can. But it'll be a lot of fun. And then don't forget on the 24th, we'll all be at the Italy game against Ecuador. Did you get your tickets for that?
Man, it's not looking good. Not looking good. I went to go look. I looked at them about a few weeks ago. They were still expensive, but they were decent. You could still make a justification. But I just looked the other day. Oh, it's ridiculous. So I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening.
Well, if you guys are around, we're gonna do a joint tailgate with Tifosi Napoli Club New Jersey. You can find all the details on the social medias as well. Check it out. It's not. I think it's like $25 for just food. I think Tifosi Napoli New Jersey is running a bus from their place where they congregate at Blend to the Red Bull Arena. But I'll be there. The kids will be there. You'll find all the club members there. We're going to be hanging out before the game, and we're all sitting in section 105. Well, most of us are anyway. So come say hi to us. Other than that, Dan, do we have anything else to talk about? Is there anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, honestly, man, I'm good. I think we spoke a lot today. I don't think they want to hear my voice anymore.
I don't think they want to hear any of our voices anymore.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, until next time, I'll see you soon. Forza Napoli.
Sempre.